I think it was pretty dope. I think it was pretty
like
good.
it.
Pretty first episode. I think it was pretty nice. Welcome to Spreading Love and Kindness one kick at a time. I'm your host, Ricky Kempis, and today we have Abigail Kempis joining us. She's my little sister. She's a current college student, and I'm just happy to have her come on out today. Just want to say thank you for coming on out tonight. I know it was like last minute, but you ended up pulling up, and I just want to say I appreciate you for that.
Yes, of course. I'm excited.
I wanted the audience to also, get to know you a little bit more better, as you are going to be working with me hand in hand with this podcast. So yeah, we'll get a little bit into more detail, a little bit later on in this video about what your role will be.
Excited to be a part of it. I'm excited to kind of get rolling, kind of start the podcast already.
Yeah, because you had said that you wanted to be part of this project. I remember talking to you a little bit about it.
Yeah, we were talking about it, and then I was just like hearing out your vision and everything, and I was like it's cool, like that. It was actually something I've been wanting to do too, like by myself. I haven't gotten to the point where I was like actually like visioning it. I guess like as a okay, let's actually get this start rolling and up and rolling. Because I don't know, like a lot of people don't know, but like it takes a lot of background and hard work to even get a project starting, to even just get like a lineup, at least to get a little bit out of your mind where it's like, okay, like I'm actually gonna do this.
That's pretty awesome. I know that you did want to start your own little thing, so hopefully that by you helping my podcast out, this channel out, spreading love and kindness one kick at a time, eventually it'll be able to kickstart your journey, your own profile thing. If you ever if you ever end up actually going that route, going doing your own thing. But for the meanwhile, I'm happy to have you here, and you're my little sister, so you've always obviously been a part of my life, and you will continue to be a part of my life. But yeah, I mean, just overall, I'm super happy to have you here tonight, and kind of wanted to get things going, right? And I wanted to talk about a little bit about your early life and your background, so the audience can get to know you a little bit better. Obviously, not a lot of people know about your story and your personal life, so whatever you feel comfortable sharing, it's what I'm going to be telling all my guests that come on here. Just whatever you feel comfortable. So basically, how was your upbringing, as a child?
I am a only girl out of two boys, so we're a party of three. And my two older brothers we're years apart, so yeah, I don't know. Like we have a lot of similarities, obviously, because childhood, we grew up and everything in the same household. But yeah, I just have a very different perspective, I guess, on life. But for the most part, I've always just been the princess of the family. I have my big brothers. What is anyone gonna do to me? Grew up with the rough play fights and the rough even the upbringing right now too, low key about the Copa Mundial, how I was talking about how it just brings back a lot of memories just growing up and having my brothers play video games with their friends over, eating pizza, eating just a bunch of junk food, and I would be laying down in the front while you guys are playing, or even watching the soccer games. Sunday, I remember, oh my goodness, I remember every Sunday after church, because we were always a part of church. But Sundays after church, we would go to the soccer games. We had to rush. I remember Sundays were booked because we always had something going on. And yeah, I just remember my childhood always on the go. Always in that Mustang, the hood down. Oh my goodness, so many good memories in that car.
Mom's Mustang, yeah, that one was nice. Hood down and just driving at
literally.
Even hitting 40, dude, you feel the wind in your hair, though.
It felt so nice. Surreal. Hitting Hollywood, going to Las Vegas, okay.
Those family trips.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, for your upbringing, right, and a little bit about your background. So you were the youngest of three. You had two older brothers. And right now, with the whole World Cup, it gives you that sensation of that, almost nostalgia, right? Yeah. It brings you back to the days where we're all together and we, right after church, like you said, right? Church was a big part of our lives. We'd have soccer stuff, right? Soccer games and yeah, because I know my little brother, right? Your older brother, he's the middle child. Our little brother would he also had his games. I had my games. Sometimes we'd be in the same team. Sometimes we wouldn't.
Yeah.
So sometimes we had like two different games.
Playing time. Yeah. It was just like all day out. Like.
And you and mom would just kind of be like.
Packing the bags. There. Oh my goodness. I would be carrying the bags, be carrying the equipment. Aviesta.
Because you're just pushing a little bit more forward. What would you say were some challenges? You can pick any, right? But what were some challenges for you, do you think, growing up? And not how you overcame them, not just yet, just specific, just challenges, something that you felt like, oh, like this was pretty, it's pretty challenging, pretty difficult growing up.
I would say definitely, like, a lot of it was the age gap between my own siblings, because we just went through life like at different life cycles at different timelines. So it was just different, like, so that was pretty hard. Or even like just not growing up with a lot of money, it's just coming from, just a single mom and 3 kids, and it was challenging. It was hard. I'd say kind of
like the factor of you being the youngest, the age gap, and then you're stating the income, right? So not having that much, like, growing up. Yeah. And especially as a girl, like, I would say, like, those were maybe some challenges for you, right? Just kind of reiterating what you had said.
Well, honestly, I would just say, like, for me, like, childhood, right? Like, just like growing up, like my upbringing, I wouldn't say like, like I was poor or whatnot, like, where no clothes or whatnot. Like I was always well taken care of and well managed and everything. But it was definitely like, since I was very much into dance and very much into like, so también like how much it would cost for not only like my older siblings cost for their sports or for their like school programs and stuff like that, but also including mine into that budget, like it was difficult. And it was but I always got like, mom always just pushed through, and my dad too, like no se diga, like he was there, and personally, like I just I just seen him like where he would pull up, sometimes like, like if it wasn't a lot, but even with the little, like we'd make it enough, it's spread out. So
still staying on this topic, so those were some challenges of you growing up. How were you able to overcome them? Like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, right, like sports. Yeah. But if it were to be sports, or if it were to be like some activities that you did outside of even church, right? Because again, we're followers of church, followers of God, so we know that God has a big pivotal, role in our lives. Myself as well as yours. Yeah. But what would you say helped you overcome these challenges? Besides, being that.
Honestly, I would say just always having a strong mindset, through everything. I was just always like, like things happen for a reason sometimes. And I would get hurt, very hurt, especially for dance, right? Dance is a really big thing for me. I would get hurt when I would hear no's, when I'd be like, oh, like simple fixes. Like they would just be dance class, and they'd be like, oh, like, you need to work on so-and-so, like, it's not coming out. I would be so hard on myself, and I was like, no, like, it needs to come out right, it needs to come out good, it needs to come out clean, and blah, blah. So just having a strong mindset, even within that, it's like, sometimes I would just be like, yo, sometimes you just need to relax and just keep working, at it, but be nice, be kind to yourself. So I like soccer, because soccer kind of linked into that family time where it was like, okay, we're all outside, and we're all on the field, and we're all like
connected.
Yeah.
For a little short period of time, even if it was for a short period of time.
Yeah, so that helped growing up, having that. It felt some type of connection, like you said, to family, where it's just like, this is the one language that we all have fun in speaking in, the one time that we're all just there to have fun.
I feel like, so through dance, you were able to kind of get out of your headspace, right? Because the challenging times that you had. And soccer as well, like family, right? So family was like a core thing for you to kind of overcome some challenges that you were going through as a child. And then just having that strong mindset. I can see, and I could tell, I mean, obviously I'm your big brother. I know that you've always kind of been like that. You're not only are you strong-minded, you have a trait that I also kind of try to, use in my day-to-day, which is like that, like kind of never giving up mentality, right? As we grew up, my mom and my dad, they kind of both, they drilled that into us, right? Saying like, hey, our family, like, we never give up. Like, no matter what happens, like, we don't give up. Like, it can be hard. We could even take a loss, but it'd be like, hey, but we don't give up. So we're either going to try again or move forward and try a different route,
it's a
kind of a
win,
thing.
honestly. I see no as like, like it's a no for now, or it's a no in this chapter, but it never hurts to try again. It never hurts to ask again. It never hurts to
knock on another door. That's for me. Like for me, it's always like that. Like if a door gets shut on my end, sometimes I'll knock again. I'm like, you know what? Hey, like give me another chance. Like give me another shot. But if it's like, if I see that, hey, you know what, for sure this door closed, and it's like a genuine, like I feel like, you know what, this closed, but it was good for me as well. Like I feel it's good that it closed on me. I'll go ahead and walk and knock on another door, just knock and be like, hey, you know what? Yes, this person gave me a no, but this person, or this other opportunity, because it doesn't even have to be a person, right? Like this other opportunity can open up for me. It can be even, better than what it was supposed to be on the other side, on the other door. We learned that, hey, sometimes no's were okay, sometimes going up and challenges that you're going through, they were all right. They're like you said, lessons learned. I feel like instead of losses, they're more like lessons. Yeah. We talk a little bit about yourself, talk a little bit about your background, talk a little bit about your challenges, how you overcame them, and then a little bit about like your insights and lessons learned, right? So like anything that you feel that you learned after all of this, what do you feel like a lesson that you learned in your personal life would benefit to the to viewers, watching this episode?
What helped throughout everything, I would also say, is just always sticking honest to who you are, to what you believe in. And I've always said, my famous line is like, anyone that you meet and you talk to, like they will tell you that, like, I always say this, it's like, as long as you're honest with yourself, honestly, that's all that matters. Like, so if you're not honest to even within yourself, to yourself, then how can I expect you to be honest outwards? How can I expect you to be honest to me, to just your family, your people around you, your crowd, to your environment? How are you going to stay honest to them if you can't face the realities, the truths within yourself?
So kind of like what you said, just being honest to yourself. Like, and I think that's pretty powerful that you touched on that, right? Like in honesty, right? Because to be able to love, to be able to be kind, to be able to spread all that, like at the core of that, you have to be honest. It has to be honest, because if it's not honest,
what does it mean for? What does it show up?
It wouldn't be love. You know what I mean? It can't be love if it's not honest. It can't be love. If it can't be kindness if you're not being honest. Like it's evil. It gets like a twist to it. It won't be kind. It won't be love. It'll be something else entirely. Without honesty. So I think touching on that, what you said, I think that's pretty beautiful, and I think that's powerful as well. Not only is it beautiful, but it's powerful because I do feel like, yes, you should be honest, within yourself and who you are. So it's not just the word honest, right? It's not saying like you need to be honest with what you say, but actually with who you are.
Be who you are, and it's better to be who you are proudly and loudly than to always feel like you're hiding behind a curtain, or to always feel like you're putting on a show.
That was powerful.
Yeah.
And I hope that they can take that away from this episode, and a little bit about you, right? And people are getting to know you, because again, not a lot of people know you. I'm not too sure about your circle. I know, like, I have my own, my own life. You have your own life, and you're growing up, and you're only gonna get older. And in the future, you'll have your own family. You'll be your own. You're already your own person, but you'll have your own life. It kind of just shines like a spotlight, like, oh, so who's Abigail, right? Like who are you? And a little bit about yourself. So I think that was pretty beautiful, and I think for the most part, like we hit like all the topics that I kind of wanted the people to talk about and hear about, and just get to know you a little bit, right? A little bit about you, some challenges that you've had, and how you're able to overcome them. We see, hitting some major topics, kind of like you're able to go through it again with God, right? Church. You're able to go through it with dance, family, and a little bit of that core memories with soccer, because soccer has been a part of our lives, right? So our upbringing, your childhood and stuff, childhood memories. I wanted to talk a little bit about now your role on this channel. So I'm excited to talk a little bit about that, right? Before we wrap it up. I wanted to talk a little bit about that and talk about, kind of like what you will be doing, what you'll be handling in regards to like having the people over and me hosting our guests. So I don't know if you're ready to talk about it a little bit. Yeah,
I'll be out there. You guys will be seeing me a lot in the behind the work scenes. I will be helping with the cameras, with the promoting of the videos, getting that social media up and running, and being that connect, for whatever, for whoever out there wants to do a collab, or just, hey, like, I want to get on the podcast, help you out with that. But yeah, just really doing the behind the scenes. I'll be taking up that space.
Yeah, no, and that's really cool. And then I feel like I wouldn't want it any other way. Personally myself, I just feel like you're my sister. At the end of the day, you're my blood, and I just feel safer. You know what I mean? Like in the easiest words I can like describe would be like I just feel safe. I feel like I can definitely trust you, and I can I won't have like these thoughts where like, oh, like some type of weird thoughts, like, oh, they're trying to do me wrong, or they're trying to do this or something, right? It can get pretty dark really fast, especially in the world that we live in, right? And with social media, everything's kind of like changing and adapting so quick. So just having somebody that I can trust, in the behind the works and behind the work scenes and stuff like that, I think is super beautiful, and I can't wait to work with you and the people to get to know you as well, right? Because again, I'm going to be having guests over, and you'll be behind the scenes, kind of like taking care of the camera, making sure that the mics are on, the mics are kind of running smoothly, maybe some stuff that we can't really like control, right? Like the environment, the weather, the maybe some loud noises that we have, because right now we don't have a studio. Hopefully in the future, as we continue to grow, we'll have our own space and everything like that, right? We'll make it. We'll definitely make it. We'll get there. But as of right now, there's some things that we just can't control, right? So it'll be like some loud noises in the background, stuff like that. But more than anything, I just like having you around, so having guests over, and we can have you, behind the scenes, behind the camera, and kind of be like fact checking as well. If we ever have like we want to hit some topics, and let's say I don't have all the facts, but to be like, hey, can you pull up 1986 World Cup winner? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Yeah, so just having a little bit of that behind the scenes work, and having you around, and having you take care of like the social media platform, right? A little bit on that, and again, just having you around. And I think this video, I feel like this episode was essential to the channel. Not only did it work out the way it was supposed to work out, but I feel that the people should get to know you, should have gotten to know you a little bit more, especially if you're going to be around, this channel, this platform, and around us, the group that I'm going to be, the people that we're going to have over. So I feel it's just perfect, right? It's like the cherry on top.
I'm excited. Like I said, I'm very just even grateful to have someone, like I said, in my inner circle, really trying to start up something like this. And like I said, when we were talking about how you were gonna start up the podcast and your vision, what you have for this, I just really believe in the vision, and I'm a believer alone in what you have, your message to the world, to the audience. So I'm just really grateful that I have that running through my blood, through my bloodline. But to even just be a part of it, to be, working, behind the scenes, like I find that truly, like, I'm grateful, I'm excited, and I just want to see it already.
I know. I was going to say, get things rolling. I know, me too. And at the end of the day, right, at the core of it all, that's what I want too. I want it to be like genuine, and I want it to be like how we kind of hit the topic, right? Honest. Having deep conversations, having like real connections with people, and having like that real love, like, hey, like, I think you're really cool. And then the other person kind of reciprocate that. That's the kind of person that I am. So that's what I look forward into this podcast. This channel is kind of like getting to know the person next to me, and for the audience to kind of getting to know them a little bit closer as well. But, doesn't always have to be, super deep. If they don't want it to get that deep, it could be like, hey, like, let's just have a good time. Let's talk about, let's talk about their lives, and some key points that they hit in their lives, and like how they were able to overcome some challenges. That way the audience can, the people who are watching this, they can find some type of either comfort, because they know that, hey, somebody's kind of going through the same thing I went through, or just like that, like a different perspective, like in life, where like, wow, I didn't even know people could go through something like that. And maybe somebody's going through a rough time out there, and they're able to use, your tip, your suggestion, or the next guest suggestion, and kind of like help them move forward within their own lives. So that's really the point of this channel, really. And I hope that we have fun, you know, and I hope that as we continue to have guests over, that we can make it fun for them as well, right? Because you'll be working with me hand in hand, and we'll have guests over again.
Brainstorming.
And yeah, you know, like give us some ideas, like, hey, you know, maybe some, you know, halftime games or something, you know, right? Like, or call up your best friend right now. And if they don't answer, you know, a shot of vinegar, or, you know, give me 50 juggles with the ball, right? And if you can't do 50 juggles, then, you know, I don't know.
You're out, bro.
You gotta bite a jalapeno, right? Like, and then have that on camera, where, you know, like something like that, where that people are able to enjoy like this content as well, right? Have a little bit of that fun time. What's the next step for Abigail Kempis?
I really just want to take advantage of like the world, getting to know the world. So like I'm really happy and excited to just travel the world, as well as majoring in psychology. So just furthering my education in psychology. I'm really excited for it and happy, and I just hope it's the right choice for me. I don't know. We'll see in a couple of years.
That's awesome. No, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think that's really cool. You know, this is a platform for you to go ahead and give them your social media, whatever you want. You know, that people can follow you and get to know you a little bit closer.
My Instagram, that's really where you're only gonna find me, is _Abby.y21_.
There you go. And you know, you guys can give her a follow. You know, get to know her a little bit more. Again, this is my little sister. But yeah, I mean, you guys can go ahead and follow her. She'll be working with us behind the scenes at Spreading Love and Kindness one kick at a time. I've been your host, Ricky Kempis, here today with Abigail Kempis. And, you know, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Let's go. Vamos!
Good God! The blessings come down. Good God! When the praises go up. Oh. Good God! The blessings come down. The blessings come down. When the praises go up. Keep falling. The blessings come down. The blessings come down. When the praises go up. The blessings come down. Good God! They booked the nicest hotels on the 59th floor, with the big wide windows, with the suicide doors. Ain't no blood on my money, ain't no Twitter in heaven. I know them drugs isn't close.